know, as I said, there was no details on that. Yesterday it was all about thinking outside the box, big innovation, this is going to be something else. Today you couldn't even tell you if you're going to have two flags flying together. So either they haven't done their homework on this, or they're rowing back from what their announcement was. You know, frankly, if we can't figure out how to afford to represent our country abroad, then they have some serious problems, and it becomes a question of competence. We need to have Canada represented independently in as many places as possible. And trying to do it on the cheap just doesn't work. If it's about shared services, then why the pomp and ceremony? Why the big announcement? And when I read, frankly, in the UK press that for many of the Conservatives, this is about countering the EU, I become very concerned. I don't want to be a pawn in that game. We want to have good relations with everyone, and if we can do it in a shared services way, that's a different equation from what Mr. Baird was talking about. That's a good question. If you were to believe the government yesterday, it was going to be a bigger innovation than that. Today, we hear Mr. Baird say, well, there's not much to do about anything. So these questions are important to be answered by the government. They couldn't even tell you how much money was going to be saved, exactly how many embassies, whether the flags are going to be flying together. You know, was this just a half-baked idea, or is this one that got away from them? I don't know. It seems like it got away from them. But it's very important that we understand the relationship, and if it's just about an administrative change, as I said, well, why didn't we have a press conference when we agreed to do the same with Jamaica? I mean, you know, this was a big thing, you know, to have the Foreign Secretary here. You know, so there's either this is substantive, as they were spinning yesterday, or it isn't. And if it isn't, then you have to ask the question, why did they decide to do it in the manner they did? Well, one thing that is very important here, though, is that we have to be able to show that we have an independent foreign policy. And in foreign affairs, perception is important. Just think back to the Iraq War or apartheid. If we're seen as, you know, shared services, shared policies, then that's an issue. And it remains a question for the government to answer. If it's just about, you know, the arrangements we already have, what's the point of having this now?